Hi everyone, hi Floss Tube, it's Knitting at Stitches. Today is Sunday the 27th of August. It's been a little while since I've made a floss tube, been a while since I've done a WIP parade. Thank you to some friends who said, hey Nat, it's time to do a WIP parade. So here I am. I've got a few minutes before I need to head out the door, ready for a big rehearsal for a concert I have this week with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, the Jazz at the Lincoln Centre jazz band, plus soloists from Consort of Melbourne. We're performing All Rise at the Sydney Opera House this Thursday night and Friday night to sold out audiences, which is just, anybody who's a performer, to have a sold out audience, let alone two in a row for such an exciting program, it's such a thrill. So thank you everybody who's coming. I'm sure you're watching. No, you're not watching. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, so just to get things started, this is a YouTube video where we're looking at cross stitch in particular, which is my lovely hobby. Thank you everybody who has also followed Lisa from Shady Trees Stitches and I, when we went on our road trip to Hobart, our Sydney to Hobart YouTube videos. We had the best time traveling together. We still are great friends, and yeah, sort of some really happy memories, and really glad that so many of you were able to come with us on that journey and you had fun with us as well. I can't tell you, we just had the best time and it was great. So yeah, WIP Parade, it's been a long time. I've had plenty of new starts, plenty of finishes, so things that you might have been looking to see, yeah, sorry. I'm not going to show them. I've had lots of finishes, plenty of finishes this year, and especially since my last WIP Parade. Shall I get into it? I'm just I've got my box of goodies plus a bunch of things that are on frames. You can just kind of see a hint of what's here, those of you who know. Yeah, some great progress on my favorite WIPs, and some new ones, some new favorites too. One that I do have to hand is a finish that I just made. It's No Mud, No Lotus by Mojo Stitches, and it's still on the piece of fabric that I stitched it on. There's just a little bit left for another small. It's been one of my absolute favorites. It's on 28 count speckled egg, which is from the Sassy Devils subscription bag. It's a limited edition run, but how perfect is it for this beautiful project? I have stitched it with Silks for You, and also a combination of Called For, Silks for You, and Cottage Garden threads. So making up some colours along the way. And there's a couple of DMCs in there as well where I didn't have the right fit. So not sure yet what I'll do with it, but I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to figuring it out. I maybe pop it in a frame and put it up somewhere where I can see it and enjoy it and treasure my stitching. Next, let's go to this little bag. So this is a Teresa bag, and these were thank you gifts, goodie bags from the A Stitch in Time retreat in Hobart. And any of you who have seen our unboxings from when we were in Hobart will have a bit of an idea of what's inside, but this is the WIP Parade. So I had 2 starts from the retreat. What have I got first up? Okay, so Hands Across the Sea. This is the little, who is it? Hannah Maxwell. And there was an adaptation made so that it would be a Hobart retreat piece, and so I've decided to do that. Here is where I am up to on it. Absolutely no ironing. I am unapologetic. There we go. Please don't ask me what fabric it is that I'm stitching on. It is a 36 count linen, which is my favorite. So there we go. So the phrase at the top is, the most endearing ornaments of youth are modesty and truth. And I've got a bit of youth are modesty and truth. And I've started stitching the Hobart retreat down the bottom. So I got quite a bit of progress on that, as you can see. Not a lot that needs to be done to finish that off. That is being stitched in, what's the red? I am stitching that with the classic Colourworks Belsoir Cranberry. So that's the colour that I'm using, and I'm having such fun stitching with that. The other one, and I'm sorry for crinkles in advance, is Reindeer Dance Christmas Biscornu. So it was a Christmas in July retreat. This is Mojo Stitches, so a retreat exclusive. I have not got much done on this one, just the very center. And this is being stitched on, again, Flax by Zweigart. At least I've got some information on this one. This is 36 Flax by Zweigart, and using the there we go. Using the Cottage Garden thread, called for Cottage Garden Threads fibres and flosses, and these are the Mojo Stitches, line. So the bookshelf edit of the Cottage Garden Threads. I'm really out of practice. Anyway, sorry, crinkles, but I won't. I've unzipped everything, so no zips for those people who that triggers. Up next, in my Cruel Goblin little pouch, I have the the winter 2023 schoolgirl sampler, and this is a stitch along. It's a subscription box, and they open it up, I think, towards the end of every year, ready for the following year. This is no, that's not going to help. That's not the picture. All sorts of stuff in here, and not yet third time lucky. This is Maria Sago by Needlework Press, and this is what it looks like, well, where I'm up to. So very fine stitching 1/2 on 36 count linen with NPI silks. And having such a lovely time doing this. I'm anticipating the next box, so I need to pull my finger out and get stitching on this. Get ready for box number 3, which I anticipate will be here very soon. Being August, it will be time. So I've got some things to do. Next was a new start. This is a little bit of a stitch along. And there's not a lot on this one. This is absolutely a work in progress. I'm stitching A Honey of a Tiny Town by Heart in a Hand. It's the first time I've done one of these little projects. Really very cute. And as you can see, it's still on the hoop. I just, oh, it's a little twisted as well. That's not so great for the linen. Stitching it on I think this is a 40 count linen, and it's a dye spot fabric. That's one of the specials from Paddock Lane, so Lisa Lane's design and fabric dyeing part of the business. And so this is one of her dye spots. But it's just perfect for this very sweet little project. And I'm just using the called for DMCs. I think, yeah, there was a bunch of classic color works and Weeks dye works, and I'm just doing the DMC conversion. Just something nice and quick. And you know what, I might even take this with me when I go to rehearsal later today. Easy to carry. Don't zip. Out of habit. Okay, this one is my 4 Seasons by I'm having a moment. 4 Seasons by Barbara Anna. And I'm not sure I've got the picture with me, but it almost doesn't matter. There it is. Here's the picture. Sorry if it's a little bit, there we go. Get myself out of the picture and put these ladies in. Cool. So that's what it looks like. And I'm stitching as the seasons go around. And winter is now complete. I've got done summer. Here's spring. Autumn didn't quite get finished, but winter I did. And can you see what I did with winter? I made an oops. See that green? It's supposed to be blue. I'm not going to unpick it. It's on 40 count. And I think it looks just fine. Winter is not a season of snow for us. Things do slow down. But also it's now August, one of our coldest and wettest of months, and my husband's just gone out to play golf and he's in t-shirt and shorts. So winter is not icy for us. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange season, or at least if you're not used to a southern hemisphere winter, that's what it's like. Up next, here's one I haven't actually done a lot of work on for quite some time, and it's looking a little worse for wear. This is a peacock, unicorn and badger. I'm stitching it on 40 count linen, and just kind of doing bits here and there. Let me move this so you can actually see what's going on with the image. There we go. I've done a fair bit of work on it, but never as much as I'd like. But you know what? It's fine. I'm comfortable with that. I love it. I love it. I think the colors are great. This is using the DMC conversion, and I have got, I think it's a Weeks or a Classic Colorworks to do the green, and that just kind of gives it a little bit of dimensionality in that green background. It is going to be full coverage. There's a lot of work involved, a lot of stitching involved in that, and I wanted that green to not be flat. So yeah, using a over-dyed floss for that is going to mean that I get that dimensionality. Let's see if I can find what it is. I'm stitching the green with Classic Colorworks English Ivy, and I've gone through at least one full skein of that now. Hope I've got enough. Anyway, this poor thing I haven't stitched on in ages. This was a new start in January for New Year's. Loving it, but not really having given it an awful lot of attention more than I have. I'm stitching this using Royal Rose. This is Mistress of the Hunt 2. I can't even remember where I got it from. The sewing shop in Canada, I think. Online. She uses AI generated artwork. So some of the images have some little interesting features, and one of them is that this deer like creature has this interesting sort of thing going on with its nose, which is strange. This is the crown of a pig that appears in the image. Unfortunately, I don't have a printout of that. I'd like to get back to it at some stage soon, but my stitching priorities are lying elsewhere right now. So it's a WIP. I'm enjoying it when I stitch on it, but it's a lower order one. Oh yeah, and you can see what the fabric I'm using for it is my old London Haid, which I am actually really happy to no longer be stitching. I wasn't in love with it the way that you need to be for such a large project. So yeah, that is Mistress of the Hunt. All right, what's in here? Yes, this is another new start. I've had quite a few new starts. This is Stacey Nash Designs Spring Chicken Pin Keep, and I've done 1,000 stitches. Believe it or not, this is 1,000 stitches. I think. Maybe it's not. Anyway, the intention is to get 1,000 stitches in it every time I touch it, at least. I was hoping I'd be further along than I am right now, but I'm not. So yeah, I've got the shadow of the house and starting to get the tree up the side of the chicken house. That's fine. It'll get done eventually. Alrighty, and then some of the things on frames. So first one is my now only Haid that I've got in rotation, which is Teacup Bath Time by Randall Spangler. I've actually progressed this one quite a fair bit, and we're starting to see some of the main subject. So it's basically a dragon sitting in a teacup having a bubble bath, and he's holding up a a chocolate chip cookie end, so we can see the cookie starting to come into view there. This is about as wide as it's going to be, and I'm just having fun with it. My eldest child will be over the moon to see this finished. So will I. Not going to happen this year. Sorry, kiddo. And what else have I got? All right, Night Walks Down. It's on a scroll frame. The top of it's scrolled up. This is actually getting really close to a finish. I reckon there's a chance I'll have it done by the end of this year. If not, it'll be finished next year. That's cool. Stitching this in the called for colors on 18 count Aida, 2/1. There's a couple of fudged errors in there. I fudged it. It's cool. And a couple of changes. This peacock was going to be a much lighter color. Wanted to pick it out a bit more. As you can see, the owl here maybe needs some back stitching around the outside of it just to pull it out. But yeah, it's getting close. That's the bottom edge of the vertical boundary, so the vertical border. And then once I've done this bit, I'll start pulling that giant border across the bottom, and then she's done. Happy with progress on that. This one is my Shakespeare's Fairies, which is getting really close. This is Mirabilia, Shakespeare's Fairies. As you can see, there's quite a fair bit done. I've got a little bit of the back stitching done there in the chronic, but there is also odd bits and pieces where I've just kind of gone, you know what, I'll just move on to somewhere else. So my thoughts are that I might start doing some of the back stitch on this, but also I want to finish all of the stitching too. I'm attending the Mirabilia retreat in Brisbane in February next year. I really want to get this done. Fabric. So this is a 14 count Aida that I dyed, and got some sort of fluff on the back. Planes flying overhead today, sorry. I dyed this myself, 14 count Aida, and so yeah, I guess we could call it Midnight in the Forest. Yeah, there's a bit to do. I will just have enough for framing and finishing, I think, over here. It's going to be close. Anyway, it is centered, I promise. So yeah, it's going to be close. And yeah, so a couple of last things. I promise St. Andrews is coming, but first is the project that's really captured my heart right now. It's Teresa Kogut's Wisdom. This is a copy, my working copy picture of it. When you see it, you'll see that I'm doing some different things. I am stitching this on a 40 count vintage country mocha linen, and I have done a Silks for You conversion. So Teresa has, you know, these beautiful rich prim colors, which is lovely, but I do like a little bit more warmth in my colors, and so that's what we get when I did the Silks for You conversion. I'm not stitching the border. I decided not to. There's some verbiage that Teresa provides on on some of the sentiments that are in the words around the outside. Judge that ye not be judged, kindness is wisdom, love one another, be harmonious, 'tis not fruitful to lift one up by belittling another, which by themselves are lovely sentiments, but I found, to me, that they were a little negatively worded, the way that you might teach a teenager or a young child, and I felt that it was a little bit preachy. So I'm still picking up the kindness is wisdom, love one another, which I think is really important sentiments, but the words around the outside were not for me. That's my feeling on that. But here's where I've gotten up to. I started this just the other week, and I've been singularly stitching on it. And so I've done a few different things with the colours, not too different, but yeah, loving it, and stitching with the silks is beautiful. So let me get them out. Many of the silks that I've chosen to use are not available. They're part of Fibre of the Month clubs from 2020. So, and some of them I couldn't even tell you what the colours were anymore because I've taken them off the skeins, but some of them I've kept. So, you know, the September 2020, it had some really lovely golds, and so really picked up with those. July 2020 had some really nice pinks, and then there's this beautiful PR. So this is a color that you can purchase, PR077, which has got lovely greens and pinks and purples all through there, and it's this color that I'm using for, can you see the letters? Yeah, really lovely. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that that's turning out. I've made a couple of mistakes, I'm fudging around it. It's what makes it mine, right? So yeah, that is Wisdom by Teresa Kogut, and having good fun. All right, here's what you've been waiting for, St. Andrews. I haven't stitched on it in a little while, in about a month actually. I had a really big stitching jag on it in July and put over 3,000 stitches into it in July alone. Haven't touched it at all this August. It's not even on the scroll frame. So yeah, I got it to 50% and took it off to show a friend, and haven't put it back on, which is fine. I've been doing some other things, but yeah, here comes St. Andrews. I stitch using a parking method on the diagonal. So yeah, you'll see lots of dangling threads, which drives a few of you crazy. I don't mind it because it saves me from stopping and starting threads all the time. But yeah, it's looking incredible. Look at that. So yeah, 50% done. So they'll be the same again on the other half. It's going to be big. And it's a passion project. I'm loving stitching on it, and every time I get to Oh yeah, can you see the people? I've got people in it. See that? I've got people, golfers. So yeah, really enjoying it. And because I'm stitching on the diagonal, it keeps the craziness on the back really to a minimum. Yeah, there's a little bit going on here, but as I stitch, the weird funny bits at the edge, they'll get covered over, and yeah, that'll all get stitched in, and it'll leave the mat on the back to very much not a big deal, not a big problem. So yeah, it's all coming together really nicely, and I'm very happy with the way it looks on the back. It's looking great. I'm so happy with it. So yeah, St Andrews. So yeah, just over 30 minutes. So a relatively short WIP parade. Thank you so much for stopping by. Leave me a comment if there's anything that you'd like further information on that I've kind of skipped over, sorry. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, especially if you've stayed right through to the end. Thank you very much. Bye.